Hey everybody, welcome to EmpireCV.tv. I'd like to apologize for our shoddy camera. Not the cameraman though, he is fantastic, he saved it. So, welcome to EmpireCV.tv. There is a bunch of books out this week, lots of trades. So let's just start with the indie stuff. We've got issue number 11 of 10 grand. He's in hell. Well, I'm going to be giving things away, but it happened over the last couple issues. He's leading the forces of heaven against hell. He's got a vendetta to pay against the man who killed his wife, and hopefully he's trying to make sure that he can get her back and make everything that he's gone through worth it. So we got some Straczynski here. Couple kids books this week. This evidently is to something on Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network has been coming out with a ton of books that tie into their stuff. And this one, it says, leads directly into a special coming out for this series. It was really strange. You got talking birds, you got talking toads, you've got sailors in wooden ships sailing through fields of grass. It was just a really oddball thing, but it was cute. Not as cute as this one though. Penny Dora, young girl, her parents have just split up, living with her mom. Christmas is here. She gets a magical box in the mail. She doesn't know who from, and it grants wishes. The very first person who gets their wish granted was her cat, Iggy. So this is another all ages, really cute, really fun book. And we go right into something that is not for the children. Men of Wrath, Jason Aaron. This man is brutal. It is not just, I mean, his last name is Wrath, spelled differently, but he's a hired killer for a local thug. Some of the things he does in the first issue were horrific. And at the end of the first issue, they send him after his son, who he proceeds to hunt down. So the man has no qualms with his job. He just does what's necessary. And we don't know why, because we see that he's got stacks and stacks of money that he doesn't use on anything. He lives in a little rundown shack. So I'm not quite sure what the deal is with him. Classic pulpy fun, in the vein of like an Indiana Jones type thing. You also should check out I Love Trouble. Great graphic novel and great artwork on that one too. AVP, I think I've told you before. If you're reading any of them, Prometheus, Aliens, AVP, Predator, you probably should read them all because they are intertwined like you wouldn't believe. One leads directly into the other. You're seeing characters from different ones, and either read them all or wait until they're all done and then figure out which ones to read. Birthright, the first issue of this was beautiful. The art's great. About a story about a young boy who goes missing. His father suffers the consequences when everyone thinks that he's the one who did something to his son. His son then comes back and he's like 28 years old. It's only been a year. No one believes him. They're getting DNA results, but the kid has basically lived a John Carter type life on another planet where he was raised by the people there and ultimately became their greatest champion. There was a twist at the end of the first book. I'm not going to give it away because we have copies on the shelf. Number 2 comes out tomorrow. Dr. Mirage, got some Valiant this week. What else did we have Valiant? There was also a Bloodshot. God Hates Astronauts. If you're in the mood for something completely wrong and you don't get offended, this is for you. It's hilarious. It was really, really well done. And speaking of John Carter, we have a new number 1 coming out. There's like 5 or 6 different covers. This one is starting from day 1, from scratch. So if you like John Carter, you like the pulp, this is the place to jump on. Velvet, still on the run. Her agency is tracking her down for a murder she did not commit. The people tracking her down are learning that she's a lot more than they thought she was, as she's an old spy who retired to a secretary job, and now that she's out in the field again, she's pulling all her old tricks and a bunch that they haven't even seen. Green Lantern, Godhead continues. This issue has Black Hand, and there's a special appearance that Black Hand brings us that was kind of messed up, kind of disturbing, because evidently he's just hanging out on Earth and no one's found him. So, Godhead continues. Justice League 3000, Camelot 3000 is in this. It was in the last issue. If you're an old fan of the series, then this is a great place to jump on. A couple people have picked this up just to see what they're going to do with Camelot 3000 in the new 52. Superman Unchained, you guys thought you would never see the final issue, but it's here. This is it. If you're waiting for the trade, finally it's going to be coming. Jim graced us with the final book and with a great wraparound cover and some great stuff on the interior too. Beautiful, beautiful. Grayson, if you guys haven't tried this and you like Nightwing, or if you like Dick Grayson, they're taking him in a completely different direction where he's not just under the boot heel of Batman. He's not doing what he wants. Batman just, well, he's still working for Batman. But he's out of the costume and he's a super spy. So issue number 4 comes out tomorrow. Batman Eternal, Blackgate, and it looks like Alfred and Bane are teaming up. A lot of things are happening there, from the criminal underworld completely changing as Batman really doesn't have any control over it. You've got the mystical stuff going on. You've got Batwing over there. And we've got World's End, another weekly. This one, the Earth 2 is just, they're done. They barely repelled the first attack from Darkseid, and it hasn't stopped. So this world is getting racked, they're getting torn apart, and in Future's End we see that ultimately in a few years time, they have to make a pilgrimage over to the Earth Prime just to get away because their world is being destroyed. Future's End, speaking of, Lois Lane is looking for Green Arrow and the island that the heroes are hidden out on, away from Cadmus, away from everybody who's tracking them. Just a little Deadpool. And we've got a lot of Logan. It's funny, they kill Logan and then we get 2 books out a week for Logan. It's just wrapping it up. We're looking at stories from other people's perspective. And in the life after Logan, this one, Scott reflects on Logan and reflects on what the absence of him will be in Scott's life. And of course, maybe this will open things up to Scott realizing what a schmuck he is and, you know, changing his life, doing something different. All new X Factor with an Axis tie-in, the only Axis this week, which leads directly into that. Artwork in this is fantastic. Oh, speaking of beautiful artwork, Koipel is on this. And God, is it wonderful. This is part 1 of the Spider-Verse has been going on, but this is the first issue. If you're looking to jump on for something and you're interested in all the different spiders, I mean, you've got everybody in here, from the 6-armed spider to Silk to Spider-Woman. You got Miles Morales, you got Spider-Ham, and you got Koipel. Oh, and you got Gwen Stacy as Spider-Woman in this. A lot of people are really digging that. She's getting her own mini. Yeah, Mary Jane was a much better Spider-Man or Spider-Woman, not Spider-Man, in Spider Island. And here you can actually see some of them. We've got a mini with the team up for all of them. Hulk goes to talk to Betty. Things don't go so well. Red She-Hulk, still, she's living as Betty. She can transform back and forth. She's got some serious issues with Banner, though. Guardians of the Galaxy Week, we got some Star-Lord. Got some Rocket. Isn't that an adorable cover? And onto the trades, Avatar. You guys have been waiting a while for this. There's always 3 books in each series. This is the Rift. The final volume comes out. New York 4. So this is a compilation of everything that these two have done, that Brian Wood writing and Ryan Kelly on art have done for New York 4, all in one volume. The first time it's ever been collected together in one place, and all of this is only 20 bucks. So you just really can't go wrong with that. Oh, a lot of you guys have been waiting on this. Walking Dead, what more need be said? The series is on again. The comics were coming out twice a week. This one, though, takes place after the all-out war. Shows you what happens, jumps ahead a couple years, so we get a fresh start. Serenity, the new series that just ended, all 6 issues, plus some extras in there, a lot of artwork I'd never seen before, and another short story at the back. And Scott Snyder, Murphy. This book is horror, it's sci-fi, it's mystery, it's everything you would expect from Snyder, and Murphy delivers just amazingly with his artwork. So the Wake trade paperback comes out tomorrow. Thank you very much, you guys. We've got a costume contest that's going to be online, 9 a.m. what day? Tomorrow. Today, or you know, when you see this, probably the day. Wednesday, 9 a.m. You can vote on the costume contest. There's going to be a bunch of winners. You can go look at the what determines a winner. It's voting, and then I think we get to pick one too. Shows you how involved I am in my own store. We've also got Saver Game Night coming up. So if you're a Saver, ask me about it, or go into the Game Night chat room. We've got Black Friday stuff coming up. More info on that soon. And I think that's about it. Thank you very much, you guys, and have a great week. 3 books I forgot. They were sitting over by my computer because I was reading them before you got me in front of the camera. The first is, I just want to let all of you know, no one seems to have this on their radar. It is a Grant Morrison book. It went by everybody's radar because it's over at Legendary. But if you're a Grant Morrison fan, you're going to want to pick this up. It's one of the first books over on our top shelf. Also, we've got 2 new books, one from Aspen, Zoo Hunters. Beautiful artwork. It's what you always expect from Aspen. They always put their best on there. And it's a science fiction story about a father and daughter who just lost their mother, or her mother, his wife. And they collect animals for you know, essentially zoos. But there's a mystery that starts, some murders start getting involved, and it goes from there. So check out Zoo Hunters, #1, brand new book from Aspen, not just relying on Soulfire and Fathom anymore. That should be their logo. Should say it on the top of their website. But the one I was most excited about is Tooth and Claw. This is another a new Kurt Busiek book, and it's set in a fantasy world where everybody is an animal, whether it's a boar, a bird, a lion. All of them have their own little section. There's 17 kingdoms. We're following the farthest kingdom, the smallest kingdom, the most remote kingdom, as magic is fading in the world. They're trying to, without the council's wishes, figure out a way to bring it back, which of course only causes more trouble. It was beautifully drawn, and it's a fun fantasy story. So check him out. You know he's a great writer.